talking to a company that was doing about $2.5 million in sales. They were a millwork company, 17 or so employees. And at the time we chatted a couple of years ago, the owner decided that he didn't want to do anything. He didn't really care about the whole, preparing the business for sale. He just assumed he could keep going the way he was going. And, fast forward about a year and a half, and I had a friend, Peter, who needed to get some millwork done. And one of the suppliers he was using was filled up, so he couldn't go. And I said, well, here, Peter, why don't you call this individual? He's got a large, good-sized company. They've been in business 25 years. They specialize in high quality. They've got about 17 employees, a full 20,000 square foot facility. They should be able to help you with all your requirements. So a couple days go by, and I get a phone call. And Peter goes, Eric, what are you trying to do? And I said, well, Peter, what are you talking about? And he said, well, Eric, I went to visit the gentleman that you suggested that I go and see. And I said, yeah, and what happened? And he said, well, first of all, it's not 20,000 square feet. He was sitting on a 3,000 square foot facility. He had no staff. It was just him. And he couldn't really help me the way I thought he could, at least in a timely manner. And he certainly didn't have a facility that my customer could walk through. I said, well, what happened? What did he tell you? And he said, well, he told me that he had two very, very large clients. So basically 20% of his customers were 80% of the business. And one of the large ones left, and then the second one left, and he was left with nothing. And I had warned him about this a couple of years before, but he didn't really think it was a concern. And the question that owners tend to need to ask themselves is, are you in a similar position? Are 20% of your customers responsible for 80% of your business? Are 20% of your salespeople responsible for 80% of your sales? Because if these are the kinds of things that are happening in your company, you really need to sit down with some experts, and you really need to start figuring out what to do about the company. Not only is the company potentially in trouble, but you become an extremely undesirable organization. Following that, the other side of it is that, if you're the person who's responsible for all the sales and, something happens to you, all of a sudden, if somebody were to buy your business and all of a sudden you weren't there to help, a transition over a period of a couple of years, and yes, it will take a couple of years, then it, also puts the buyer in a very precarious situation. So you've got to be thinking about a whole lot of possible things that could happen, some positive, many negative things that could also happen.